Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to show you what's good and bad in the Soulforge. I'm going to show you the team I'm going to use for Invasion, and also a cool team for Underspire at the same time. But first things first, let's take a look in the shop end. Take a look at his weekly new glory troop, the Fisher King. Deals scatter damage and inflict a random status effect on all enemies. It's not bad. That status effect could be Death Mark, could be Terror. Could get lucky and get some quick kills. Could be Entangle. All sorts of really cool things. That's not bad. Silence, etc. Allied Strix gain 2 life. Reduce damage from skulls by 25% and 20% chance to dodge skull damage. Right, nothing special set of traits really, but the spell's actually alright. That's not bad. So okay amount of scatter damage. But the status effects are what could be really useful about that, especially if it's like Death Mark or Terror and things like that, and they get to just die straight away. So I'm going to give this a fairly solid, especially if you're a newer player without many options, 6 out of 10. Pretty good. Not too shabby at all. Anyway, enough to get up to Mythic level if you can. Always good to have more troops at Mythic level in your team if you can do so. Anyway, I bought a jumper the other day, but I had to return it because it was just always had static electricity, which was really annoying, so I returned it. And the person there was really kind. They gave me a new one. They said it was free of charge. Do you see? Right, on to the Soulforge. Let's go into the Soulforge, see what's going on in there. Ah dear. Right, so weapons first as ever. I'm not going to go over all the things that are here on a regular basis, like Shattered Blade, Broken Guard, etc. They're in my Soulforge extra video. And don't craft Golden Talon from here either. It's in the Invasion shop, and you can get it by just purchasing tiers. So you can, there's no need to actually spend diamond on it. You can just get some tiers, which you're going to want to do to help out your guild during this event. And it's a pretty cool weapon. Explodes magic +1 yellow gems, grants a random status effect to all Strix allies, then summons a Strix troop. So a nice explodey summoning weapon now. And we can take a look at the upgrades later, because they can actually be a good thing, good guide how good a weapon actually is. Some of the upgrades can make a basic weapon actually a lot better as well. Next up we have a light sword, so much better than a heavy sword. Deals magic +4 damage to the first enemy and deal triple damage if they use a purple mana. So pretty basic weapon, but again, peaceful is one of its upgrades, and that silences the first enemy, which is really good. They can't collect mana, they can't cast spells. So again, like peaceful is one of the upgrades to that, and that actually makes it a little bit better. Nimbus bow and plumed staff, 2 really good weapons here. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Strix allies, then create a mix of 6 blue and yellow gems for each Strix ally. So make sure you're using all Strix in your team to create all that blue and yellow, and you can get a really fast charging team. Really good weapon. I do like it a lot. And again, the upgrade's really good. Enchanting, when you cast this you get enchanted, so get ready to do it again really quick. Light is Light Storm, which is yellow, so you create more yellow than normal. And peaceful, again, silence the first enemy. They can't collect mana and they can't cast spells, so very good weapon indeed. That is plumed staff, very similar. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Suncrest allies, then create a mix of 6 yellow and purple gems for each Suncrest ally. So very similar kind of thing, but based on Suncrest rather than Strix. Javelin of Suncrest, kind of the anti-Suncrest weapon in a way. Remove all yellow gems, that's the colour that Suncrest allies or troops tend to like the most. Then deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by gems removed. If the enemy is from Suncrest, or if the battle is in Suncrest, deal double damage. So the sort of weapon you won't use very often, but they are very cheap to get, just 75 diamonds. This kind of thing is useful for picking up when you want to progress your kingdoms, because sometimes you're going to get to a point in the game where you're going to need a certain amount of weapon from a certain kingdom fully upgraded to advance, and that is where those kind of cheap weapons can come in handy. Blade of Morning. Don't know where the Blade of Afternoon and Evening's gone, but the Blade of Morning's there anyway. Remove all purple gems. Create yellow gems equal to purple gems removed. Then give magic +1 life to an ally boosted by yellow gems now on the board. So quite a specialist weapon, that one. Don't think I've ever used it, but hey, it's there. Staff of Storms, explode magic +1 yellow gems, grant a random status effect to all Strix allies, then summon a Strix troops. Another explodey summoning weapon, and this one does have enchanting as well, which is pretty cool. Wand of Stars. It's not in my Soulforge extra video, but if you've got the resources, totally worth crafting. It's the best weapon in the game still. Create 6 elemental stars, bless all allies, or create 7 umbral stars and curse all enemies. So all that mana gen with an option for the bless or curse, really good. But it does feel like it's kind of been nerfed a bit lately, as in it's not as reliable as it used to be on getting that mana on a regular basis. But hey, it could just be a bad few games sort of thing. But it's been happening to me now for the last several days since the update. But could be a coincidence, who knows? Well, Gems War devs do, for a start, but hey. Doomed Sigh. Deal magic-based damage to the last enemy, boosted by yellow gems. If they have a Doom, deal double damage. There's a 3% chance per tempering level to kill the enemy. Not particularly a fan of this kind of thing, even on the highest upgrade. It's still only like a little bit less than a 1 in 3 chance to kill the enemy. Obviously, if it works, it's very useful, but other than that, not the best kind of doomed weapon for me. Not really much of a fan. Feather Strike doesn't sound very damaging, does it? It's like, what, you're going to bash me with a feather? Oh, it's a feather with a knife on the end. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by yellow allies and Strix allies. So a basic weapon there. So a nice little set of weapons in there. Some basic ones to the slightly more complicated, but really do like those. Nimbus Bow up here and the Plume Staff, really good, as well as those lovely explodey summony weapons. Right on to the troops. Have a little look through these summoning stones ones here, see if there's anybody that takes your fancy. Normally anybody that's a goblin is really good to get. Anybody that starts in powered, anybody that you haven't got, always good to pick up new troops. So just have a little look through them, especially if you're a newer player, and see if there's anybody there that you haven't got. And grab some summoning stones and see if you get lucky. Right, let's take a look at the mythics then. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. Dragon Lord Luther is still there to craft if you want to. Seems to be a regular place now in the Soulforge, but the first new mythic this week is Bieska. Deals splash damage to 3 random enemies based on magic. Looks like magic +3. Boosted by enraged allies and gain enraged. The traits are all enemies lose 2 random skill points, reflect 25% of skull damage, and inflict bleed and terror on a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. This for me is one of those mythics where its actually strongest thing is its trait. That last one, Gaping Wounds, inflict bleed and terror on a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems, is pretty powerful. If you can get terror on the whole team pretty quickly by getting a bunch of 4 matches, then they can just leave the game as if they just got killed, because the one at the bottom, if it gets affected by terror, will just run away and they'll be gone as if they just got killed. So that is probably the strongest part of that. The spell isn't fantastic, but that third trait is okay, but it's still a fairly just kind of mythic overall, I think. King Stormguard does damage to the first 2 enemies, boosted by my attack, life and armor, then explode all lightning gems. Gain 1 attack when an enemy casts a spell, reduce damage from skulls by 25%, and create 2 yellow lightning gems when my turn begins. Are the traits. Again, the third one does help out his spell a little bit, but still nothing fantastic, unfortunately. Just alright. Commethalus is the dragon on rotation this week. So if this is the only one you're missing on your path to getting Stellarix, then it could be worth spending the extra Dragonite to make sure you get it guaranteed, rather than risking a lower amount of Dragonite to get yet another duplicate. That's player's choice on that. For me, if it was the only one I needed, I would probably be happy to spend that extra Dragonite, because it is then guaranteed, and it's like less frustrating if you keep on getting those duplicates, which can be really, really annoying. And is there another one somewhere? Another couple. We have Uberstat. Really good troop still. Do love Uberstat. Does magic +2 damage to the 2 weakest enemies, boosted by all ally and enemy attack. If one of the enemies dies, then kill the other one. This works really, really well with weapons like Rope Dart, where you strip away all the armor of a troop and do some damage at the same time. This often is going to put them in range of a kill from Uberstat, and if one dies, someone else dies. So really, really powerful troop like that. Do love Uberstat. Really cool troop still. And the Voice of Orpheus is here. Long considered a underrated or just poor mythic before an Elementalist class came along. Just does magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by all ally mana, and cleanse all allies, then give all other allies 5 mana. And the traits are gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell, is impervious, which is quite useful, and Adagio, cleanse all allies when matching yellow gems. So really good for that cleanse. This is like a really good counter against Elementalist and Elementalist class, and this is what made Voice of Orpheus just a step up from how he was before Elementalist class came along. Because obviously Elementalist class is really, really powerful. You get that burn, stun, freeze, and tangle by getting 4 matches. They can get your whole team in a bunch of trouble really quickly with Elementalist class. But because he's impervious, he doesn't get affected by those things, and all you got to do is collect yellow to cleanse off your entire team. So a really good counter against Elementalist class if you're getting fed up with being burnt, stunned, frozen, and entangled all the time. Right, let's have a quick look at the legendaries then. We have Moloch. Drain all mana from an enemy, then deal magic-based true damage boosted by mana drained. We have Goblin King. Remove all gems of a chosen colour. Gain 8 life, boosted by gems removed. And summon a goblin and gain an extra turn. So a typical kind of goblin there with the extra turn. Summer Imp. Deals magic-based scatter damage, creates 7 red gems. If an enemy dies, gain 8 magic. But the most powerful thing about this is it does gain 8 magic on yellow gem matches, which is pretty cool. Just by collecting yellow, the magic goes up by 8 every single time. So that scatter damage can go really, really high, really, really quickly if you've got a team which creates absolutely stacks of yellow. And where's the other one? Must be down here somewhere. The Weirstag. Pretty cool troop. Deals magic plus 2 true damage to the first and last enemies. Creates 3 doom skulls for each lycanthropy gem on the board, and inflicts lycanthropy on a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. So that's pretty cool. Do like the Weirstag. Bit specialist, but can be very powerful in the right team. But who gets my mythic of the week? It's not going to be King Stormguard or Bieska. They're just not good enough. And who was the other two? Voice of Orpheus is really good. Like I say, a really good counter to Elementalist class, but the sheer power of Uberstat just cannot be ignored. It's, for me, the best mythic here. The way I judge these things sometimes is if these 4 mythics were here on their own and someone said, right, 3 of them are going to be taken away and you can only have 1, who would it be? And it would have to be Uberstat, just for sheer power. Because the Voice of Orpheus is great for that cleanse, but you can still get the cleanse really easily with Wand of Stars and things like that. So yeah, Uberstat, my mythic of the week. Right, now onto the invasion team. Now you must use event captain crested Ava in your team. As you can see there at the bottom middle, it has ×2 magic and earns ×2 score. So literally double your magic and double your score. So you must use the event captain crested Ava in your team to get the most out of that. And you get that from the shop. You can buy the tiers 1 to 6 and get a bonus Orb of Chaos at the same time at a rather large cost of 1,350 gems. If you don't want to do that, if you're only going to do like a 3 or 4 tiers, say for example, you want to go to at least tier 3, if you want to get that weapon, it's a pretty cool weapon, then you can buy them individually at the same time. So let's get the first one. Get a Potion of Enchantment, which is really cool, some other troops, some gold, souls and invasion sigils. Tier 2 is where we get the Crested Ava guaranteed, so we'll do that now. There you go. Incoming Potion of Explosion at the same time, and our invasion troop. And at tier 3 we get the weapon. I do want to get this weapon at the same time, so we'll grab that for another 150 gems. And at the same time we get the Potion of Rejuvenation, more troops, and more other stuff at the same time. All very nice indeed. But let's go and upgrade that weapon ever so quickly and take a look at the upgrades on that, because I do like to see the upgrades on a weapon. Your Crested Ava, there's 2 ways to get it to mythic level, by the way, because that is how you're going to get the best out of it. You can either buy enough tiers from the shop, which are going to be expensive on gems, or you can just upgrade it using orbs, and it's going to cost you 2 orbs of ascension to get it up to a mythic level, like that. Then you can upgrade it in the usual kind of way, which we do. We'll do this. Actually, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to use orbs again because I want to save my other stuff. I don't need this kind of stuff, so I may as well use some of these major orbs of wisdom and things like that, and save other cool things, which are like your celestials and things like that. And we'll also get that upgraded, of course. There we go. Bingo bango. Level 20. So yeah, 2 Orbs of Ascension to get it to Mythic level, or just spend a lot of gems buying extra tiers from the shop to get your Crested Ava to Mythic level. Right, so let's take a quick look at that weapon then. Let's get this upgraded. So we get an attack bonus, a couple of them, another attack bonus, a magic bonus, that's nice. Oh, it does cleanse itself, which is pretty cool. Treacherous, deal 5 damage to the last enemy. Oh, creates a light storm. So all this actually a pretty nice set of upgrades overall, particularly like that light storm. That's going to be yellow, so we get a lot more yellow. And deal 5 damage to the last enemy, pretty cool as well as cleansing itself. So yeah, not a bad set of upgrades on the Golden Talon. Well, so let's take a look at the team then for this. Going to use Plumed Staff, High Priestess Chazka, Crested Ava in Itchel for this. And you're going to change the order of this team as things go along. We're going to start with this order right now with High Priestess Chazka in 2nd place. But as the towers appear, we're going to actually bump Itchel to the top, and I'll explain why. In the early stages, this team will charge up really quickly. We're going to have a Plumed Staff in 1st place. There's an option for this if you don't have this weapon at the same time. I'll come to in a minute. But it deals damage to an enemy boosted by Suncrest allies, which is the whole team. Then create a mix of 6 yellow and purple gems for each Suncrest ally. Again, the whole team. So basically the maximum amount of yellow and purple. That is really cool because yellow is going to feed straight into High Priestess Chazka. Any excess overspill we get of yellow will feed into Crested Ava. And the same happens with the purple. The cool thing about this weapon is it can actually self-charge because it creates that purple. It uses purple, it can fill itself up and get ready to do it again. Any extra purple, again, will feed into High Priestess Chazka, and any extra purple can feed into Itchel, who's also a siege breaker. So we'll do that extra damage versus towers. And the same goes for Crested Ava, but we get that ×2 magic for that, remember. Now when the towers start appearing, and they start maybe appearing at the top, so you've got all 4 towers, this is definitely when you want to move Itchel to the top, because you're going to benefit from that 5 or 3 to 5 times skull damage versus towers when they come along at the same time, as well as that extra damage to towers. So we've got 2 lots of siege breakers here, which are going to make absolute mincemeat of this. We can then bung her to the bottom and then charge up our Plumed Staff and go about it that way. But in the early stages, it's definitely easier to have Priestess Chazka in 2nd place, so she benefits from all that mana quickly. Banner for this, we can have the Riven Banner, +2 purple, +1 green, -1 red to get that weapon charged up really quickly. If you don't have the Plumed Staff, another weapon that's really good for this is Nimbus Bow. It's very similar. Damage to an enemy boosted by Strix allies. Again, that is the whole team. Then create a mix of 6 blue and yellow for each Strix ally. Again, the whole team. So the maximum amount of blue and yellow. It does have enchanting, which is really good. So as soon as you cast it, it is enchanted, so it can charge itself up quick. And it does have peaceful, which makes the first enemy silent, so they can't actually gain mana and they can't cast spells. So it is good for that, but it'd be no good when those towers come along because they're impervious. They can't be afflicted by those afflicted by those status effects. So I'm actually giving the edge to this to the Plumed Staff, because the blue and yellow on this as well is kind of good, but the blue is only good for 1 troop and the yellow is good for like 2. With this weapon here, we're actually going to create yellow and purple so it can self-charge. The purple is good for 3 of our team and the yellow good for 2. So I'm edging this one for the Plumed Staff. Let's dive into a battle then. Let's just show this quick. Get a nice 50% start on mana with reduced damage from skulls at the same time. Gonna have stuff like Impact, which is pretty cool. Don't really care about this one here. Anti-magic sphere is useful though. Gonna have Tactician, gain 3 magic at the start of battle. Extra damage is extra damage. Rock Solid, always useful, even though we don't use brown for this team. Any random matches of brown, we're going to get a barrier, really cool. And Tree of Knowledge, again, just get enchant when matching green gems. And Fortitude, always good to be immune to stun, poison, disease, death mark, lycanthropy, and devour. We'll start with it in this order, and then I'll show when we change the order of the team around to benefit from our extra siege breaker. It should be really straightforward in these early stages. That Potion of Explosion, getting things done pretty quickly. We've got the enchant, so we're going to be ready next round anyway. We can just cast this, do damage to someone, bash them out of there. There's the yellow. There's Priestess Chazka. Done. You can put on 3 lots of Nisha medals to boost this team up as well. Get extra damage, extra magic. And we had the first tower appear, but it's still good in this order at first, because when you do that skull damage, it's only going to be relevant when there's towers at the top. So we're completely fine with this order at the moment. The team will still get charged up pretty quickly. It's roll with this. So we've got, might as well get purpled in and do it that way. Didn't even get to use the weapon. And we can still use one of our siege breakers to take out the tower quickly if we need to. But right now, High Priestess Chazka can do all the heavy lifting. And we benefit from this storm from her at the same time. Yellow gems fall more than the other ones when we cast. But this, we get a really good chance to get a whole bunch of yellow and an extra turn at the same time. We may as well get that done. There's the yellow. Didn't actually get a huge amount from that this time, but Priestess Chazka's up next round anyway, so happy days, making short work of the enemy. Well, jumped forward to where 3 towers now start appearing, and this is where it's definitely worth probably moving Itchel to the top, even if you're a more experienced player, because when we get rid of that top troop, we're going to have all towers, and once all towers start appearing, this is going to get that 3 to 5 times skull damage versus towers, providing you got that third trait using our Itchel, and we're still going to get that 3 to 5 times damage from this as well versus all those towers, so really good. So Plume Staff will still charge up this team really quickly. High Priestess Chazka can still chip in with that damage to all. So let's see how this rocks and rolls. Alright, let's grab a bit of yellow. Weapons up next round anyway, so don't really need to get any more of that. So we'll grab some stuff for our itchy friend. Alright, let's cast that on them because they thought they were going to do something and they didn't. So now we've got both of these troops up already. We've got the 3 to 5 times damage, so we can just get rid of that tower. You're gone. And we can use our feathery friend, the other one, get rid of another one, and we got that 3 to 5 times damage here, look from the skull, and dead. Easy as that. So really beneficial to have Itchel up top. And for this. Oh, nice pretty Christmas tower's got to be bashed down. So our troops are nearly ready to go already, which is cool. We can get rid of them, or do some significant damage at least. What I'll do here is actually get rid of a tower first. That one started to charge, so we get that 3 to 5 times damage. We can cast this now, finish them off while creating stacks of mana. There's the random skull hit. Piece of cake. Absolute piece of cake. And then we use our Siege Breaker to finish off the last tower. Jump forward a bit more to show how easy this is with this team in this order. When you get 4 towers start appearing, becomes actually kind of even easier than before. Especially if we get a couple of skull drops at the same time, can absolutely fly through the enemy. So what we got? We got a nice little bunch of yellow there. We'll grab some of that. We'll get rid of somebody absolutely straight away. They got the most mana, but they're enchanted. We'll get rid of them. Bit more of that. Let's give them a wallop while getting some mana. No lucky skull drops so far, but we've still got this second Siege Breaker up, so we can get rid of them sharpish. Let's get rid of them now. And take a nice 5 times skull hit. So yeah, walk in the park. You're dead, and so are you, and so are you, and so are you. That's how quick it can be. Right now, on to the Underspire team. Let's take a little look. The core team for this would be Golden Talon, which we got today from the event shop. 2 times Queen Zochi and High Priestess Chazka. Now you can make mincemeat of this Underworld as well, or Underspire, with Phoenicia if you have a really good troop for this, dealing damage to all enemies, boosted by red gems and burning enemies. And if there's a firestorm, deal double damage. You can use her, but make sure you do change the class to Sunspear class, because that's how you can force a firestorm literally every single round. Let's take a look at that. Sunspear class. Create a firestorm at the start of every turn. So by being in Sunspear class, you will get double damage from a Phoenicia. But I do like to do these things no mythic for the benefit of people without many troops in the game. So So we've got this golden talon today. Explodes magic +1 yellow gems. Grants a random status effect to all Strix allies. Then summons a Strix troop. So lots of mana gen, summon, and status effect at the same time. Queen Xochi, really good. Very cool as well. She doesn't go into battle in anything like as cumbersome as a bra, and it's a distraction to the enemy at the same time. She knows her stuff. And also deals damage to all enemies. And if there's a storm, explodes 5 gems. And also has a chance of a summon as well. So if we lose a troop somewhere, we got that chance of a summon. Also, so 2 lots of her dishing out damage with plenty of explosions and mana gen at the same time. And there will be a storm because High Priestess Chazka conjures a light storm when her turn begins, which is yellow, and also does damage to all enemies boosted by yellow, and bless all yellow allies. So all our team gets blessed, which is a cleanse with benefits of being impervious at the same time. So really, really good. Class for this, I'm going to be in a Geomancer again. Just love me a bit of Geomancer. It's just such a good class. It's just nuts. Reduce damage from scars by 50%. All constructs start with 50% mana, which makes it quick as well. We can have Impact, which is useful. Anti-Magic Sphere, Tactician. Rock Solid, gain a barrier when matching brown gems, which we're going to do to charge up our Queen Xochi. Tree of Knowledge may just happen by itself. You can get some extra brown if you want as well as have Fortitude. And the banner, a Guardian banner from Hall of Guardians, pretty much perfect for this. +2 yellow, +1 brown, -1 green. Let's jump in then and have a scrap or two. See how they do against our Xochi face. Let's grab some of that. That's the weapon up. Gonna explode all them gems. Get status effects all over the place. And Xochi's ready, and she says, "See you later, you lot." They are gone, and that charged up the second Xochi at the same time. So really, really good. Let's grab our lantern from Matey Boy Hat Head. Would you like to purchase my wares? No. I'll take that for free though. And on to the next. Look, you can use the Strix class for this Stormcaller, but the main benefit of that is the light storm every round. But you get that from Xochi's, not Xochi, High Priestess Chazka. So yeah, you can grab this at the same time, get some brown and yellow and rock solid at the same time, all at once. Very nifty. And there's Xochi charged. She will explode gems because there is a storm. All the while High Priestess Chazka is in the team, there's going to be a storm. Right, let's just do one more battle then. Oh, should we go up or right? Ah, let's go right. Right's always right, isn't it? Apart from when it's wrong. Then it's not right at all. Even though it was right. But not right. Stop it. Explodey gems, status effects, summon if we need it. Also yellow there for the enemy to collect. Annoying. Right. Come on, let's get the job done. Enemy benefiting from the 4 matches there. Right, so there's the Underspire team. Lots of mana gen, lots of summon possibilities, but not mega quick sometimes. Depends upon your luck, how the gems fall. It's just quite limited by the amount of troops we had available to pick from at the same time. But there's a video. If you enjoyed it, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching. Catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.